Russia's foreign minister has met Qatar's leader in the latest attempt to bring an end to the Gulf crisis. It's the first high-profile Russian visit to the region since Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain and Egypt cut off diplomatic ties with Qatar. They discussed a wide range of issues, including the Gulf dispute. Qatar's foreign minister says the blockading countries have not responded to Kuwait's mediation efforts.
After 3 months of this crisis, the problem of these blockading countries is against Qatari people, not with the Qatari government. When you start a blockade in the month of Ramadan without any justification, a baseless blockade, then there must be a big problem which needs to be sorted out by examining the reasons and the impact on our people. A dialogue for Qatar is to lift the blockade. We don't aim to sit at a round table just for the sake of sitting there.
The problem should be solved within the GCC. We know about the American efforts and proposals by the US Secretary of State, but we prefer to solve the problem within the GCC. We don't give ideas that are different from Kuwait and the US because there are so many proposals upon which dialogue can be started. We will continue our efforts in making contacts with all the countries in the region, and in the beginning of September I will go to Saudi Arabia and Jordan.
Analysis now from Ibrahim Fraihat, who's an Associate Professor of Conflict Resolution at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. Always good to have you with us. What does Russia bring to the table here?
Well, Russia brings many qualities to the mediation effort after we've seen the mediation efforts internationally struggling with this conflict and unable to make any serious progress. The major contribution of Russian intervention now is that it fills a gap that was created by, or a vacuum that was created by the absence of the United States, the divisions within the position of the United States between the White House and the establishment. So Russia steps in and tries to fill this gap, and I think this is a major contribution as a world power that can contribute to the mediation.
What's in it for Russia? Here we are 3 months into this crisis, and yet it's only now that Russia's getting involved. What do we make of the timing?
Well, Russia actually sees a serious opportunity here. Russia has strong relations with all parties, by the way, including not only the primary parties of this conflict, but others are equally important, like Iraq and Iran. This is something that the United States does not have. So Russia can talk to everyone in the region and can mediate and can talk about this. So in addition, of course, Russia sees that there is an opportunity in terms of managing its own conflict in Syria and needs the Arab coverage for wrapping up the conflict in Syria.
So Syria is the big carrot in this for Russia, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. That's for Russia to manage or to wrap up the conflict in Syria, they need an Arab coverage, especially on the opposition side. And this is something historically, since the beginning of the Syrian revolution, has been supported always by the Gulf states. So Russia is concerned that if this conflict continues, it's going to spill over in Syria and it's going to complicate its efforts in Syria. So that's why seeing Russia intervention and trying to seize this opportunity and help its management of the conflict in Syria. And in addition, one last thing also for Russia is that there is an emerging market here within Qatar that as a result of the blockade and open up the market, so they can step in and provide the business opportunity that Qatar needs at this stage.
Ibrahim, good to talk to you. As always, many thanks indeed.
Thank you for having me.